G'day everyone, it's SDS SuperCoach, providing SuperCoach content for you, is here to present the round 16 review here of AFL SuperCoach 2025. And the title, what the Helly happened to our premiums this week? A lot of very weird scoring, but which has landed us with a score of 1904. Better round than it was last week, but it wasn't enough to go up in rank, of course. And we've gone down 127 spots, and we now sit at 1,576th. So this has probably been our lowest rank in a fair while, which is totally fine. We're now out of the bye rounds. We're heading into a best 22 for the final 8 weeks of the season, which is awesome. As I've said a few times, I'd like to think my side holds up in better shape when we're in best 22. So we will be pretty excited to get into best 22 for the run home here. So, but that didn't save me this week. And I'm sure a lot of people fell into the carnage that was our premiums. The trades I did last week were, a little bit controversial. But I had to find a way to get in Bontempelli. So I paid up 586 for him. Bond's under 600. I just had to get that sorted. And then Tom McCarthy was I definitely had to bring in. So very happy with that. Traded out Angus Clark. I traded out Caleb Daniel because I needed to trade out a premium to get in. I needed to trade out a premium to get in Bontempelli. And it was down between Caleb Daniel, Chad Warner, and Isaac Rankin. I think I preferred Rankin and Warner's front homes. So I held on to them. I traded out Caleb Daniel. He's pretty highly owned in the top 1%. And I'm not here to say you should be trading out Caleb Daniel. Like, Caleb Daniel's perfectly fine. Just in my circumstances, I needed to trade out a premium to get in Bontempelli. And I mean, Caleb Daniel still scored very well, as he will every week. You'd think so for the rest of the season. I got rid of him at 577k, which is actually a fun fact. That is the highest price he's been this year. So I traded him at absolute top value for what he's capable of. I love Caleb Daniel, and I've loved him for SuperCoach this year, but I had to make some sacrifices, and Caleb Daniel was it. Now, Warner, Rankin, Caleb Daniel, they all scored relatively the same, and they were really good for the circumstances this week, because, gee whiz, we did have a lot of poor scores. My vice captain and captain was Nick Dacos, so I did take the 131 with Nick Dacos there, so very happy with that. I was going to captain Dawson if that fell apart. He scored 112, so that's very respectable. Before I get into it any further, I can't believe I forgot to bring it up originally. A couple of things. Brad from SuperCoach Pro, saw him on the weekend. It was his birthday. Drove up to Geelong to celebrate that. So we had a great night. We had a good time. So shout out to Brad, good friend of mine. And hope I had an absolute ripping time with him. So that was pretty cool. So I was in Geelong for most of the weekend. And then another thing as well is some sad news yesterday that Abs Magic is no longer playing SuperCoach. Now things could change there, but he's just an absolute legend, and he's done so much for me. So if he looks like he's going to be creating a community SuperCoach team, and that's what he's going to be doing his content on in the future. So that is awesome, and that's been his whole mantra for his time during SuperCoach, where he's just so selfless, helps others, helped me get to 1K, helped a few other YouTubers get to 1K. Abs Magic is an absolute legend. I said on Twitter, he is on the Mount Rushmore of SuperCoach people. He changed the dynamic of SuperCoach content creation, and I don't think it'll be the same without him, but hopefully he comes back and produces content for SuperCoach in the future. just maybe with the community side or whatever the case may be. Looks like he's going to EPL, FPL. So I'd play that during the off season. I always love FPL. So I'm very excited to see how he goes on that. So we just want to give a toast to Abs Magic, absolute legends, and just an out-and-out superstar of the content creation world. Probably just about the GOAT for SuperCoach content in my eyes. So shout out to Abs. Now, let's get back into the side. Let's talk about some highlights here. We got Connor Rozee, 150. Bang! Just absolutely destroyed Carlton in that game, that's for sure. We had some massive highs. We had some big lows. We'll worry about the positives for the time being. Like Zach Buzz, 123, awesome. Nick Dacos, vice captain, 131. Can't complain there. How about this? How about this absolute legend? Rowan Marshall, bang, 159. So his last two games at Optus, and I've had him for both, have been a 179 and a 159. Can you play there every week? I'll tell you what, imagine if he moved to a WA club at the end of the year. That'd be sick, but just outstanding from Rowan Marshall. Hopefully he won't average 159, but hopefully he can keep up this sort of form for the rest of the season, because he's, I think, my biggest pod in the top 1%. I don't really look at it that way that much, but I like having a little look, and he's 17% owned by the top 1%. So it's, bless me, fair to say that we need him to be fully firing for the season to have any chance of getting inside the top 1K. That's the aim for the season. Hopefully we can get there. I think we've got 3.8.5 million in team value, which I think is one of the better numbers there. So that's really cool. I can't believe I've gotten my team value at that high. I've missed a couple of rookies, missed a couple of moments, but I feel like I've mostly nailed it. And that's probably been the best part of my season, just that team value just through the roof. And I don't think I've ever had it that high than, most other people playing the game. So I think we'll be having the same mindset next season as well. And probably just need to learn a little bit more on how to get a full advantage of that money. And I think I've got a plan for that. And I will say that at the end. So, yeah, so we got a few guys here that absolutely cut sick. But now we got to talk about some of the stinkers. I mean, there's a fair bit to get through here. Like, for example, Callum Mills counted towards my best 18. I had 21 players playing, and Callum Mills counted. So we'll start with Harry Sheasel. Scored a 60, mainly played in the forward line. Clarko just keeps moving him around. I think the role's been good over the past few weeks, but certainly a lot more of a forward type of role. Like, I'll just have a look at CBAs here, and then Sheasel, 24%. So it has been lower than, it's actually higher than the previous 2 weeks, but just the lack of consistency with Sheasel's role is really frustrating. Myself included, and a lot of other coaches. So I think he's fine to have for the run home, but it's fair to say there's going to be some frustrating moments with Sheasel in that type of role. Scored a 60 late in the game, copped a knock to his shoulder. So he sounds like he's going to play. Sounds like he's fine to play, but it's a 5-day break. And he had the non-contact training hat on today. And sounds like he's fine and it will play. No structural damage, but that does terrify me for Thursday night with what he could score. Playing a bit sore off a 5-day break in a smashing, in a pretty average role. Callum Mills, 56. Just looked the total opposite of what he did against Port Adelaide in the previous week. 56 isn't good enough. Paid 357K for him. So there's obviously going to be some, it's not going to be all smooth sailing, but we're just going to have to hope he can just be consistent for what he can do. I guess it wasn't the type of game for him to do well, I guess. I did hold on to Matt Carroll, but that really pissed me off that he got dropped with that very low break even, because it could affect my money in the bank for future plans. So Carlton got absolutely destroyed. He didn't kill in the VFL this weekend, but I tell you what, Michael Voss has been looking to play him a fair bit, so hopefully he can come straight back in for maybe Billy Wilson or Flynn Young, whatever the case may be. And then we got to talk about some other poor scores like Brayshaw. I think Frev got one of the worst run homes for the rest of the season for inside mids. So I think if you don't have Brayshaw, I just wouldn't bother personally. I think this is going to be a lot different of the second half of the season from Brayshaw as we saw in the first half. But that's sort of to be expected. We identified his fixture early on, and that's where he's gotten his elite scoring patterns there. But now he's really starting to drop off. Ever since that round 9 game, he's just fallen a bit more back down to earth. Perfectly fine still to have, but yeah, fair to say he's not a must-have or anything. Marcus Bontempelli. I'm already 34 points down on Bont to Caleb Daniel, which I never thought I'd say. But yeah, on his 250th, just didn't turn up. But I'm very keen to see what he does this week. I think he could look to definitely bounce back against North Melbourne. But yeah, just very frustrating. Not many times this season I've brought in a player to debut with a shocking score, but yeah, we love you, Bont. Just lift your game. Adam Chera, 66. Yeah, just his first bad game of the season. Like, he's just been incredibly consistent, incredibly reliable. He has been going lower and lower and lower in scoring since round 10, but been ultra consistent, Adam Chera. But yeah, we're just going to need him to lift his game a tad, and hopefully the Blues show a bit more pride on Friday night. Bowen, 39. I mean, can't get rookies to save you, except this man, Tom McCarthy. What? I remember 5 weeks ago asking for the Lawson Humphreys of 2025 to pop up. He's that and more. And if you haven't got him, make sure you grab him before the end of the week, because his break even of negative 175. And I think he needs a score of 107 or more to break the record for the highest price rise. So, yeah, it's fair to say Tom McCarthy is going to be a lot of people's saviours for the run home. What else? Going with a 90 against Wits. That was to be expected. For him to have a bad game. Horn Francis. Oh, my God. 49. Got subbed off at 3/4 time tactical. So, again, another pottish player. So we're just going to need him to lift his game a bit. We need to start seeing some more midfield minutes out of him. Otherwise, I just don't know how strong of a pick this can be if he's going to be playing mainly forward with one arm. So it's a little bit of a concern considering we held. McRae's been a good hold, but yeah, we just need Horn Francis. I think Ken Hinkley said after the game they're looking to get more midfield minutes out of him. 9-day break. Was it 9? Yeah, 9-day break because they did play on Thursday. I don't know why it's done that. And now my SuperCoach. The SuperCoach crashed. You are joking. You're joking. Oh, what on earth is going on? And SuperCoach just crashed on me. What the Helly? What the hell? The SuperCoach just full on crashed on me. Oh, this isn't gonna keep viewers' retention, that's for sure. That's so frustrating. All right. I'll be back. Since I do StreamYard now, I can pause the recording and come back to it. And we're back. Yeah, my SuperCoach just crashed. Don't know what happened there. But yeah, Horn Francis hopefully can start playing some more midfield minutes for the run home because we're going to need it. And, I mean, maybe they might be out of the race port, but, gee, if they want to make finals, we need to see Horn Francis more in the middle where he can be more damaging. Some other poor scores. Keeler, I mean, I think he's been a solid rookie for me. Nothing outlandish. I think he made me about 80K, near on 80K, so he hasn't been a disaster. But, yeah, I bought him to be a key defender, not a key forward. So I like the look of him, though. Saints should pursue with him. Hopefully, he can be a good forward cover for the run home. And just to touch on some guys that we haven't spoken about, McRae, nice to see that consistent midfield role. So this will be probably the last season we get him as a forward in SuperCoach, one of the SuperCoach goats. Chad Warner, 96, very cool. His CBA is a backup, which is very promising to see. Rankin, 99 is it's good, but we still haven't seen a ton from him since round 8, I believe, against Carlton. And it's a concern those CBAs are only at 32%. So that's a fair problem to have. And there's not really much we can do. There's not much money on him. You know, if Rankin all of a sudden moves back to more of a midfield dominant role, we're going to go, we need to pick that up. But there's not much point selling. Like, there's just not enough money on his head. So that's all right. Hopefully he can just do 95 for the rest of the way. Fingers crossed. Yeah, Chad Warner was really good. Christian Petrarca, always very solid. Being one of Melbourne's best players this season. Some other guys we haven't talked about. I know we did talk about Brayshaw. Who else didn't we talk about? Dawson, 112. I think I said that. Some of these defenders. So Bailey Dale was on like 80 at halftime, and then he got tagged, I believe. Friday was so long ago now, so I kind of forgot. But 99, I guess you take it. Sinclair, 89. It was looking a lot worse, and he salvaged an 89 there, and that was all my players playing. So think about it. About to sneeze, so apologies. All right, let's talk about what we're going to do for the side this week. First off, let's get all the big boys. No more blue dots. Nothing to worry about. We've got our big boys all together. Don't take that out of context. So we can field a full Premo side with 5 trades left. Very happy with that. My 24th is Tom McCarthy. So I think that's most people's 24th. But the way he's been going, he might be my 21st, 22nd, 23rd. The game plan, there's not much to talk about with trades. I will tell you about one plan, though. It is, let me scroll. Yep. Tristan Cherry, obviously the guy that we don't have in our team. We're one of the under 5% of teams in the top 1% without him. He's had a lean few weeks. Well, it's still been fine, but it's not Tristan Cherry dominant levels. So that is getting him down to a cheaper price. He's at 628k with a break even of 181. So he's got English this week. I don't mind if he does well, but don't go too well. Just get him down to low 600s and we'll be laughing. And the game plan is to get him in. I've got 5 trades. I'm happy to go down to 3 if it means I get Cherry. We won't be doing any more adjusting after that. But other than Wanganeen Miller, this feels like the missing piece right here, and Luke Jackson and a couple of others. But I want to be grabbing Cherry because of after the Sydney game, Reece Stanley, Rowan Marshall, Kieran Briggs, Nankervis. Like, this is an insane run, but round 24. But we want to be getting Tristan Cherry back in. I think he's got one last generational run for the season. He's got Gorn the following week. So I think we're going to target him for this Sydney game here. So hopefully just 130 for Cherry next week. Just get him down, and then hopefully Gorn can just match his break even or go lower. Target him for the Sydney game. If the break even's too high to get him in for the Sydney game, I'm happy to wait another week and grab him for the Cats game here in round 20. So that's the overall game plan, and that's why I'm frustrated that Matt Carroll didn't play, because that extra 20k would have been, that extra 25, 30k would have been very handy. A 51 score will get him up 26k. So this is what I'm talking about. Just one more game out of Matt Carroll, and we can trade Carroll and a premium to get Cherry. I don't think I'm going to have enough. Now, that might be Callum Mills, but obviously the more expensive player you bring in, the the more expensive the premium is, the better money you have banked with those 3 trades. So, like, if this was this week, if I had to get Tristan Cherry this week, it would be Sheasel. But that's a bit, I don't know, it's a bit reactionary. Like, he was pretty good for a few weeks, but that'd give me about 60K in the bank with 3 trades, which I'm happy to have. The more money in the bank, the better. So I'd get in Cherry, move Nick Martin into the back line, and grab Ewan McKinlay from Port Adelaide and 99K mid forward. So that's the eventual plan in 2-3 weeks' time, if everything goes to plan. Obviously, whenever we do get a plan, it goes to crap. So that's just the life of SuperCoach. That's the eventual plan. The plan for this week, though, we won't go too far into the future, but that is the aim, to grab Cherry, hopefully at low 600s. And then what are we going to do? So I'm very terrified about Harry Sheasel's prospects for this week. So I think the plan is to loop him. So what do we do here? McCarthy goes in the back line. Do that. Boom. Campbell Gray's there for the time being. If Matt Carroll isn't named, then I am going to use him as a loop. If he does play, perfect. But because I get that extra 25, 30K for that Tristan Cherry trade, which could go a long way. And we're going to loop Harry Sheasel using Matt Carroll if he doesn't play. If he does, so it's a positive either end. So we're going to loop Harry Sheasel using the emergency loophole here on Thursday night. And then if it's not good enough, I'll put Tom McCarthy on field. Might even drop Callum Mills, but yeah, plenty to think about there. Vice captain, I'm thinking Bontempelli on Thursday night. I'm pretty excited about his prospects. And then captain, I'm looking at the Cats boys here. I think Toby Green's a good shout as well. But I'm looking at the Cats boys, and I know whoever I pick is going to be the wrong one. I think one could get 150, the other could get 100. So we're going to go Bailey Smith for the time being, but I need to give it a bit more thought. I think maybe the way Holmes plays gives him a better chance of scoring, but Bailey Smith's going to Bailey Smith. I don't know if Richmond are going to run a tag. They usually don't, so we'll give that a crack. So I think that's the vice captain and captain. Let's talk about the leagues now. I actually haven't had a look yet. SDS Super League, 169th. Huge week from Connor. So he's back in the mix there. Stuart, really good week as well. He's inside the top 1K. That's awesome. Some really nice rounds, like out of Max, out of Stephen, out of Daniel. So that's awesome to see. I lost 9 of my 15 leagues, so I'm down to 5th, which is all right. Then the SDS Super League 2. 54th. Oh, gee, we were 29th. We had a shocker. Daniel's now jumped back up. James has fallen outside the top 1K, that top 100. That's a shame. Everyone had a pretty disappointing week in this league, so hopefully we can pick it back up. I know this league's very much capable of it. James sitting pretty on top. So, yeah, those are the leagues, and I think we'll wrap it up there, guys. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Really appreciate all the support. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment down below your thoughts on the round, and we'll see you in the next video. Hope you're doing well, guys. Catch ya.